Assalamualaikum. My name is Shahriza bin Sharul Zaman, metric number 262073, and today I will tell you about black magic. Often people ask me what is a black magic. Actually, black magic is a practice that use creatures like jinn to hurt others, and it will cause the victim change in behavior, emotion, or any other action that comes suddenly and unusually. It will cause mental breakdown and affect the harmonic life of the victim. According to the Kamus Dewan, black magic is defined as a kind of supernatural that use hypnosis and the recitation of mantras that act to hurt others. And black magic is said to exist in the history of mankind since ancient time. This phenomenon is not just a phobia or fantasy, but this is a reality in our daily life. Even in the book of Islam, in Al-Quran, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala has spoken about some black magic stories, especially those that happen in the time of Prophet Muhammad SAW. And it can be researched and understood through Surah Yasin, Al-Baqarah, Yunus, and many more in Al-Quran. Similarly, with the hadith of the Prophet Muhammad SAW, which has been narrated by the companions and the Sahabat, about the story of Prophet Muhammad SAW being attacked by black magic. In fact, there are various methods of black magic that can be done, such as the practice of santau, either using the wind, including food or drink through traditional method when the belongings to the individual is taken, such as hair, picture, clothes, or anything to be smoked. The only goal of this santau is to ensure that the victim suffers and sometimes can cause death. Black magic is very bad, and that practice will bring harm to everyone, and we should be sensitive to this issue. And here I will state why this black magic is a crime that affect all parts of us. Firstly, black magic can ruin our country system. Yes, it seems ridiculous, but that is a fact. If we do not take this problem lightly, it will cause many harms and will make our country destroy. The case of black magic is capable of destroying national, and this is because it is contradiction to the modern democratic system. And nowadays there are many big cases of black magic that interfere with the running of this country jurisdiction system. According to the former Kuala Lumpur police chief Tan Sri Zaman, state that in many cases that he handled, the most impactful in his life is the case of Mona Fendi. Who is Mona Fendi? Actually, Mona Fendi is an ex-singer, and she was involved in the murder of former state Batu Dalam, Pahang, Datuk Mazlan Idris. Mona Fendi real name actually was Masnah Ismail, and she started her early career as a singer and released her first album titled Diana. The name of Mona Fendi then become used by her commercial name, and it remained popular in Malaysians today until now. Mona Fendi was involved in these cases when, after 2 weeks, Mazlan failed to be detected. People of UMNO in Rau has launched a police report at the Rau police station about his disappearance. Juraimi, that her driver, combining Mona Fendi, was detained at the Dong police station on suspicion of drug addiction when he told the police officer about the strange things that Mona Fendi did. And Mona Mona Fendi Mona Fendi be suspect about this Mazlan disappearance when the police found the videotapes of Mazlan, photo albums, newspaper clipping, and his share certificate in her house in Uludong. And later, Mazlan body was found in a house in Kampung Pamah Dong in Rau Pahang. His body was found cut into 18 parts and was buried in the storeroom. Muhammad Effendi, her husband, and Mona were arraigned in the Temerloh High Court on the charge of killing Mazlan and pleading not guilty to charge of the conspiracy to kill Mazlan because the action itself was wanted by Mazlan. During Mona Fendi's imprisonment in Kajang prison, various strange incidents happened. One of the reporter that interviewing Mona Fendi had a horrible experience when the reporter had the nightmare and she slammed her face on the toilet floor. Another unforgettable incident was when, during the day of trial, when the forensic expert who was testifying about the body, which had been cut into 18 parts, suddenly the court was shook by the strange and frightening sound. And according to the source quoted from Tusan Online, actually the sound is the Mona Fendi pet duck, and the sound seems to signal about the duck starving to death. Many more cases of black magic that have caused this the country's jurisdiction that been disrupted. Because of that, the government issues a black magic act where its enforcement should be strict and punish anyone who practice this black magic and convicted of life imprisonment. Looking at the case of Mona Fendi, it shows that this black magic activity does contain element of organized crime. Besides that, the use of black magic actually can destroy our society. In the modern world, society is also evolving to a higher level of modernization. The use of this magic, this black magic, really contradiction to the rational and the realistic belief, and therefore many later thought that black magic was actually a mere lie. According to Professor Ronnie, he said that black magic is an action that damages the well-being of others with the motive of revenge or hurt. This action results in pain, death, and various other forms of suffering. Uh, Stick to the thick news. There are some cases that a woman the and her 4 children were killed by men in East India. They died on suspicion of practicing the black magic, which caused a 12-year-old girl to get sick and die. This behavior is actually very bad when viewed in terms of modern developing society. And as a result of this practice of black magic, it also caused slaughter and sacrifice of innocent life. There are a handful of people who still believe in this black magic, and this causes mistrust in society. Look on the history in ancient time. During the Middle Age in England, early medieval authorities doubt the reality of this black magic, and however this philosophical and theological view began to change in 14th century when the black magic was considered a crime. During that day, during the Middle Age, it was far different from right now courts. And at the time, most most of the courts only just a single defendant on sometime a small group who were suspected of practicing black magic. Most of them accused and arrested women or widows who live alone because they consider the woman who practice black magic cannot marry. And the use of accused of black magic is usually to kill or betray the others. Perhaps most of us assume that the body the sorry although some people on that time even accuse the scientists such as astrologers and chemists have been accused of black magic because their studies and experiment worship to the devil. The effect of the practice of this black magic is very bad on society because this will make society unable to develop and retreat, and this impact should be avoided, and this black magic should not exist in nowadays modern society. And lastly, this practice are really really contrary to every religion because this black magic is seen practicing the worship to the devil, where every religion the world forbids it, and uh, it highly not worship to the god. And according to Salam Web, black magic in the Quran is an act that is highly condemned, and this because the basis of this activity violates the principle of Islam. And in Islam, magic, black magic eliminates this concept by empowering humans to determine their destiny. This means that the individual is doubting the God. Black magic is also seen as violating the rule of the world. Individual or groups that practice black magic openly have opposed the provisions that set by Allah. And Islam holds that Allah is ready to forgive any of the sin of His servants except shirk, especially when the person is on the verge of death. Every Muslim should realize that they are not able to change what Allah has provided for them. In Hinduism, this practice simply are to destroy their enemies or to achieve something, to cure a disease or to prevent bad luck. Hinduism state that the people who are weak are likely to abuse this practice, and they will use black magic to satisfy their passions and self-interest. In this situation, it is possible that spirituality will be affected. They strongly oppose the method that it will duplicate their God. They state that a pure heart is very important in life, and this practice of black magic will damage their heart, and it will be in trouble uh, when they practicing this black magic. It is clear that every religion strictly forbids the practice of this black magic or worshipping to the devil. The practice of this black magic falls into the category of big sins in every religion. As a conclusion, this black magic actually do not have benefit for all aspects and even give very bad harm to everybody. This behavior is an undetectable criminal practice because it uses mystical practice that cannot be detected or uses in modern technology. Due to that, this practice is seen irrelevant in today's growing world. All, everybody in all parts should take responsibility and ensuring this practice continue to be eradicated in all way of life. This black magic practice can have a bad impact on society, and the practice of satanic worship is very much will is contradiction with the belief of every society, and I hope that we did not do that practice in our life. Thank you. Hey.